Well, hello, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do our December the 30th just for today in a meditation. I hope you're doing well out there. It's good to be with you. Let's go ahead and get into the meditation. Now, if you need to reach me, feel free to do so at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I'll do my best to respond to you. The title of the meditation for today is Action and Prayer. Action and Prayer. Growth is not the result of wishing, but of action and prayer. Now, that comes from the basic text, page 37. Sometimes it seems as if our recovery is growing much too slowly. We struggle with the steps. We wrestle with the same problems. We labor under the same uncomfortable feelings day after day. We wish that recovery would move a little faster so we could find some comfort. Wishing doesn't work in recovery. This isn't a program of magic. If wishes cured addiction, we all would have been well long ago. What does give us relief in recovery is action and prayer. Narcotics Anonymous has worked for so many addicts because it is carefully designed. It is a carefully designed program of action and prayer. The actions we undertake in each of the steps bring more and more recovery to each area of our lives. And prayer keeps us connected to our higher power. Together, action and prayer keep us well grounded in recovery. Just for today, my recovery is too precious to just wish about it. Today is a good day for action and prayer. Now let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Well, it's really good to be with you today. I am progressing very well through this cancer journey, through chemotherapy that has been completed now for 2 weeks, and I'm headed into surgery in about 1 month. So I would appreciate your continued action through prayer. I appreciate that. Okay, so that's my personal update. Let's look at this. Let's talk about action and prayer and see where you are. If you can go back to, let's just say, a year ago, covering this last year. And when you covered it, what were the thoughts that you had in regards to your ability to apply action and prayer? Because a lot of times there are people that are of the school of thought that if I just pray about it, that's enough. I'm of the school of thought that it takes action in accordance with my prayers for me to get the end result that I wanted. And as this meditation states, if it was just about just praying, we'll all be clean. No, it takes action. It takes action to be able to work with your prayers, to be able to stay clean and pursue a life of recovery. That doesn't happen by osmosis. It doesn't happen by sitting at home, thinking about your recovery, praying about your recovery only, because I don't ever want to dismiss or make small of the power of prayer, because I'm a praying woman and I believe in the power of prayer, but I equally believe in the power of action. So when I'm thinking about my prayers last year, there were some definite things that I wanted to do with my degrees. And it was not easy to continue in the middle of winter. We're talking about December 30th of last year, in the middle of winter, traveling anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes just one way on a very bad highway, a highway that is notorious for semi trucks sliding sideways in the middle of the winter. Every day having to travel one way, 45 minutes, and then coming home 45 minutes. And as you know, in the winter months, it gets dark earlier, the temperature drops earlier in the day. And so you're dealing a lot of times with black ice. It took a lot of action to go into the accordance with my prayers for what I wanted for my life, for my career. And the same is true about recovery. The same is true about anything really in life that you can really think about praying about. There's probably, even if it's a small action, there's probably some action that needs to accompany that to get the ball rolling. And some people say, just leave it in God's hands. And I believe that in some instances, especially when we're dealing with very critical health conditions, right, of our loved ones, in my case, I'm praying, that I beat this cancer, and I'm believing that I will beat this cancer. But there's some actions, even in that, right, that I have to take. You know how it's been 6 months of showing up at the same cancer center every other week for 2 months, and then every week for 3 months. Just showing up week after week after week, believing that this action of me putting forth this effort, even though I was exhausted, that this is going to end up working well for me. I had to do something. I couldn't just sit back and pray that my body would be rid of this cancer, right? I had to allow myself to receive chemotherapy. Now I have to allow myself to receive the surgery. And after that, I have to allow myself to receive the radiation. Those are all actions. And when I think about the disease of addiction, the disease of addiction is much like the disease of cancer. It can be very terminal. But if we take action that works in accord with our prayers, right? Generally speaking, we see some relief. If nothing else, we see a daily reprieve if we work it just for today. So I want to encourage you today to be thinking about your prayer this time last year. And how much action have you been able to apply to your prayers? Take any situation that you've prayed about and look at how it's turned out. Can you honestly say that you put forth the actions that were required in order to work with that prayer? Or did you drop the ball? Did you drop the ball and say, yeah, I want to be able to share about the steps and have sponsees, but you never call your sponsor. You never take the action of actually writing the steps or at least going through the steps with a sponsor. You've never done it, but you want the fruit of having done it. It doesn't work like that. It's very difficult to stay clean and you're hanging out with people that are using. It's very difficult. Let's say if you go to the barbershop and you sit in the barbershop, eventually they will convince you to get a haircut. And from my experience of being a cosmetologist and training for that, we don't sit around a long time waiting for someone to say, oh, I want to get my hair done. If they're sitting and they're watching maybe their friend get their hair done, we offer them a service. Would you like service today? If it's nothing more than just a shampoo and a roller set, would you like a service today? Right? And so people that are in the field of taking advantage of other folk, they're going to try and take advantage of you. And so the more time you spend with individuals that are using, that doesn't really work with the new lifestyle that you have or the new lifestyle that you pray about and say that you want. And so I have to do it. You have to do it. No one is exempt from this. Do you feel this way? The Just for Today concludes, my recovery is too precious to just wish about it. Today is a good day for action and prayer. So I used to do this quite often, but I've gotten away from it, especially in these last 6 months. But what I really want to challenge you to do today is to take an account of where you are in your recovery and start thinking about some other goals you want that are directly recovery related, maybe secularly related, right? Related to your field of employment. It may be academically related. It may be spiritually, religiously, um, physically related. Maybe it's dealing with your status of your mental health. Maybe you want to start seeing a counselor. Take some action. Pray about it and see if that is in accordance with step 11, if that's God's will for you, and ask for the strength, right? The knowledge of God's will for you and the strength and the power to carry that out. And then take some action. I think you will be amazed how things turn out for you if you're able to take this very brief, just for today, in a meditation, apply it with some things, okay, that you already know and understand, right? Step 11 is what is standing out to me in this meditation. For me, that's what stands out, right? Maintaining conscious contact with the God of my own understanding, asking for knowledge of my God's will, and asking for the power and the strength to carry that out. So I'm enjoying that conscious contact, right? I'm enjoying that prayer. But don't you think for a second that there aren't days where I drop the ball. And now that I understand what my God's will is for me in this particular situation dealing with cancer, I believe it's God's will for me to live. I got too much to do, right? And so asking for the strength, the power to be able to do those things that look like, that feel like, smell like living. It's not sitting around and letting people wait on me hand and foot. If there's something I want in this house, I go and do whatever I need to do. If they offer their service to me, that's beautiful. But I don't want to be of the mindset that I'm going to let life just pass me by. That's the most real example that I have to offer you right now, because I'm dealing with that disease called cancer. But I also have another disease of addiction. And I've been able to successfully do this for over 31 years. And I want for you to be able to do that too. We're going to do it just for today. And we're going to do it one day at a time. And we're going to do it together. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose because you deserve it.